all, before I say something about Pollard, I just want to mention today is the 3rd of Sivan. It is the yurtzeit of David Mickey Marcus from Brooklyn, New York, who fought in the 1948 Independence War. He was a colonel in the U.S. Army, liberated Nazi camps, arranged Nuremberg trials, and volunteered in Israel and constructed the Burma Road to Yerushalayim. We remember his neshama today. I'm here to talk about another dear soul. His name is Jonathan Pollard. Those of you, some of you just received the copy of the editorial in the Jewish Star this week about Jonathan Pollard. I'll read just a portion of it, but please read it in its entirety. Jonathan deserves it. We are judged not by how we treat our kings and the elite of our society, but rather how we treat our prisoners. The case of Jonathan Pollard was at first a Pollard problem, then it was a blemish on Israel, and now it has become a United States travesty of justice.
Let's try to have a semblance of quiet. Please, a little bit quiet, please. This is very important. It's about Jonathan Pollard, and this is Rabbi David Nesenoff, who's very important cog in this thing. Let's go.
Please note, as Russian spies in the U.S. are sent back to their homes in Russia within hours of capture, and as Israel has negotiated the release of thousands of terrorists from its prisons, and as Gitmo inmates are sent to the Bahamas with U.S. dollars in their pockets, and as murderers of all types and pedophiles and thieves and rapists leave U.S. jails, one Jew sits in maximum security prison for 26 years. Jonathan Pollard's continued captivity holds our America hostage. There is an equitable time of detention for an individual who, yes, commits a nonviolent crime against his country, but what is the sentence for a nation that commits treason against all its citizenry for its failure to carry out justice without prejudice? Pollard's indiscretion did not abate our country's welfare, but by our America allowing him to languish for decades in prison, most certainly it diminishes this nation's very essence, strength, foundation, and security. The release of Pollard would be the epitome of all that is good and great for our United States. A request I received from the Chabad community today, they asked all of us who are standing to please stand, all of us who are sitting to please rise for a moment. If you had not said Shema today, for Pollard, for Gilad, for all of those, please rise to our feet. Let us say Shema Yisrael together. Please do. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. God bless Jonathan Pollard and Gilad Shalit.
Please remain standing. I would like to make a tefillah for Jonathan Pollard that was composed by the Chief Rabbi of Israel, Rabbi Yonah Metzger, Harav Harashil Yisrael. Mishaberach Avoteinu Rav Yaakov Moshe Aaron David Shlomo, hu yivarech et Jonathan b'malko Pollard, asher pal rabot l'man ha'am hayoshev b'Tzion. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmerehu v'yitzileh mikol tzur v'tzukah mikol nekel machala yotziel b'meira lecherut olam yizakeu la'alot Tzion b'rinah yishakov b'chav v'tzachah b'chol ma'aseh yadav יזכה לאורך ימים ושנות חיים ברוב עוז ושלום. בעבור שכל הקהל הזה מתפלל בעבורו, בזכזה הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא עליו רחמים, יבן כל חוב ויותר צערו. אבינו שבשמיים, יהי רצון לפניך שיעלו לבני כיסא רחמך תפילות ובקשתנו, ובזכות אבות הושיע בנים, וקיים בו הפסוק, הוציאה ממסגר נפשי להודות את שמך במהרה בימינו, ונאמר אמן. That was like the 7th inning stretch, but for much more serious business. Everyone can be seated, but please try to move over to the right. Politically, religiously, everyone move to the right. I want to give a shout out, not to this young lady, but to my mother, B. Brody, sitting in the front row. Ma, thanks for coming. I see the Tamams over there from Great Neck, and I see the Mitzvahs from Great Neck. And Eugene Gluck is somewhere over there, I'm sure. Oh, Eugene. Who's next to Eugene? That's not Gene. Okay. Say hi to Gene. And Jerry Wartsky. Where's Jerry Wartsky? Stop sending me bills.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the director of the Igud Harabanim, Rabbi Gershon Tenenbaum.
Thank you very much. West Point, the 200-year-old military academy, premier world military academy, studies all the battles that take place during all of history. But Milchemet Shechror, the Israeli War of Independence, the Six-Day War, and the Yom Kippur War are not studied because the policy of West Point is that they study battles, they do not study miracles. Look back just a few days ago, May 15th, they called it the day of Nakba, the day of catastrophe. A reported 35,000 Arabs stormed the Israeli borders. Unfortunately, 30 Arabs were killed, but all the others were repulsed. Imagine if 35,000 Mexicans stormed the American border, what would have happened? My guess is that 1,000 Mexicans would have been killed, 100 American border police would have been killed or hurt, and 15,000 Mexicans would have gotten across the border. Imagine if this happened between Pakistan and India. 35,000 protesters trying to storm the border, all of them would have been killed. What happened on May 15th was a miracle. It was an absolute miracle. And I can guarantee it will not be studied at West Point. This is how Israel conducts its wars. It prays to heaven, and it wins miraculously. Thank you very much.